So, this incident will happen yesterday between Wike and the army officer, Lieutenant Yerima, has divided opinions of Nigerians. Some people are for Wike, some people are for the army officer now. Funny enough, those people even standing by Wike are not really friends of Wike. Even his enemies are supporting him on this one because they believe that if the army starts challenging government officials, then it's another new problem. We're starting small. Meanwhile, former army generals and present army generals, many of them, they stand by that officer. In fact, they get small rumors. See, some generals even find the officer number, say, let's send you some more thing. You did well, for standing your ground. Wike is granting interview saying the army officer tried to intimidate him. But from the video we see, now he try to intimidate the officer. But now they claim say they try to intimidate him. Yesterday night, former chief of army staff, Tinubu, made a post on his official Facebook page. He said, urgent action required as Minister Wike's conduct poses a clear threat to national security. The events of November 11, 2025, involving the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Wike, demand an immediate and serious response. His public disparagement of a uniformed officer of the Nigerian Armed Forces transcends mere misconduct. It represents a palpable threat to national security and institutional integrity. A minister's verbal assault on a military officer in uniform is an act of profound indiscipline that strikes at the core of our nation's command and control structure. It deliberately undermines the chain of command, disrespects the authority of the commander-in-chief, and grievously wounds the morale of every individual who serves under the Nigerian flag. Such action erodes the very foundation of discipline upon which our national security apparatus stands. This cannot be dismissed as political theater. It is a reckless endangerment of national order. This action by Wike is clearly an indication of undermining the federal government's authority. Consequently, Barrister Wike must send an immediate and unequivocal public apology to President Bola Tinubu as Commander-in-Chief, the entire armed forces of Nigeria, and the specific officer whose honor was violated. And national security must confess. It is time for decisive action, not politics of military bashing. The integrity of our armed forces demands nothing less. Tinubu. What Buratai is saying is, that stunt you pull there is more than misconduct. It's a national security matter. For you to insult an officer on uniform like that, you did not just insult the Nigerian security. You wanted to kill the morale of every uniformed man serving under the Nigerian flag. So President Bola Tinubu, you need to look into this matter. Wike must apologize to the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, because when you insult a member of the armed force, you are insulting the full armed forces, and the president is the commander-in-chief, so you must apologize to the president first. You now apologize to Nigerian armed forces, then you should apologize to the officer. That's what Tinubu is asking for. But Joe Igbokwe, who we know as a man who stands for anywhere but left face, posted, he said, what this small boy displayed today has a million meanings. That was yesterday. What frightens me is the reactions here. I have been reading what some people are saying here, and I get more frightened. Who sent the small boy on this horrible mission? Of what meat is he fed? I am running away with the thinking that those lands were stolen. Take him out of the military ASAP. He represents evil. He was not well brought up. His so-called bravery is arrant nonsense, full of some fury signifying. Take him out. He represents evil. We call this the principle of reverse psychology. What Joe Igbokwe is saying is, wait till that boy shop to challenge a minister. Who sent him? Okay, the person who said, I'm not the person to get the land. According to him, he said he believes that the land was stolen. So that boy should be removed from the military. You see, in those days for markets, when they grew up, if Power Mike or Press will not get power, then they pray one prayer for him. They go say, you go meet who get power issue for front. That be so in a prayer. Wike has revoked a lot of lands from people in the FCT. And I'm sure that their prayer have been, you go meet who get power issue for front. And now he don't meet who get power issue. In that yesterday's altercation, the person who was more coordinated was the army officer. He simply told you that he was acting on orders. Do you expect him to leave the order of his boss for you? For Christ's sake, you have the number of the chief of the first staff. And you are the minister of the FCT. You and the minister of defense, they meet all the time. For federal council meeting, you could have placed a call there. Tell your boys to stand down. Not be the officer you suppose to quarrel with. But you just went there and embarrassed yourself. Now look. I just they look President Tinubu, they laugh. That problem when they wait, may a country, a administration gets whenever I get now, Wike go give them. Wike has been messing up and they have been complaining. But he has been doing nothing about it. He don't do a rich army. Army general has not complain. Okay.
Okay, so the defense minister have said they are currently looking into the issue and they won't allow anything to happen to the naval officer. He is going to be protected because he did a great job. So they are saying Wike should tender an apology to Officer Yerima. And like this now, this Officer Yerima is the most loved military personnel in Nigeria at this moment. He is the most loved military or naval personnel in Nigeria. This guy has been trending. So I don't know, Nyesom Wike should just, comport himself in case of next time. Because it is not everybody that will tolerate his attitude. Not be everybody go dey tolerate Nyesom Wike attitude. So this is just it. So next time, Wike will learn how to put his words right before he even opens his mouth to say anything. And lest I forget, Peter Obi also waded into the issue. And according to Peter Obi, Nyesom Wike shouldn't have shown that behavior. Peter Obi really condemned the behavior of Nyesom Wike and also, talked about respect. They say respect is reciprocal and that is how it should be. So this incident would, serve as a lesson to other politicians. It will serve as a lesson to a lot of people. Because imagine in a nation whereby politicians feel like they are bigger than institutions, they are bigger than the military, the public office should be used as a means of servitude to the people and not an opportunity to oppress people. That is how it should be. Be you a minister, be you a governor, be you a president, you are offering a service to the people. So this is just it. Nyesom Wike don't see fire recently. This is so unfortunate. So guys, what are your thoughts on this?